Well, let's take you live to Warragamba now, where the New South Wales Labor leader Chris Minns will soon be joined by his shadow treasurer Daniel Mookie. He's making an announcement there at Warragamba Dam, and then there will be questions about costings, his promises, and how they all add up, particularly when it comes to that wage cap. Let's listen in.
We'll pay more. Second point here is we need to abolish the wages cap in New South Wales. The Premier has been using the wages cap like a vice to drive down the wages of essential workers in New South Wales: police officers, firefighters, teachers and nurses. The decision he made in July 2020 to reduce increases to zero without warning, without telling any essential service worker in this state, without telling nurses in the thick of the pandemic, without explaining to paramedics on the way to their latest emergency that he would push down their wage increase to zero, having run on a platform of 2.5% increases, demonstrates, I think, to the taxpayers of this state that it's a device, an ideological device, used by Mr Perrottet to keep wages as low as possible. I say to the voters of New South Wales, this campaign started by Mr Perrottet on two principal convictions: privatisation and the wages cap. It's going to end on the same way: privatisation and the wages cap. They've been ideologically consistent about it for a long period of time. Privatisation means you will pay more, and the budget bottom line will be far worse off. The wages cap means the New South Wales Liberals and Nationals will use it as a vice to drive wages as low as possible for the people we need to keep us safe, to keep our hospitals running, and to educate the next generation of young Australians. Daniel?
Thank you, Chris. Daniel Mookie, New South Wales Shadow Treasurer. Yesterday, the Parliamentary Budget Office made clear that under Mr Perrottet and Mr Keane, New South Wales will have bigger deficits, bigger debt, which is a recipe for more privatisation and more wage suppression. The budget is $1.4 billion better under Labor. Debt is $5 billion lower than under Mr Perrottet and Mr Keane. The only way this government can pay for its unfunded infrastructure and to deal with the exploding debt is to privatise assets like Sydney Water. In addition to that, overnight, a close examination of the government's costing has revealed big issues with their principal cost of living relief, which is their energy rebate. Mr Keane and Mr Perrottet promised, as recently as last week, that every household in New South Wales will get that $250. We read the fine print today and learn that 1.2 million households have been left out altogether. It's another example of Mr Perrottet saying what he has to before the election, intending to do something completely opposite afterwards. Equally, Matt Keane has made clear that there is no additional money coming to upgrade Western Sydney hospitals and Western Sydney schools. Under Labor, Fairfield Hospital, Canterbury Hospital, Rouse Hill Hospital, Mount Druitt, Blacktown all get additional funding. Under Mr Keane, they have to continue to persist under the same tough conditions they have for the last 12 years. Mr Keane and Mr Perrottet are offering no change. To every police officer, paramedic, nurse and teacher in this state, they're saying that a vote for them is a vote for 4 more years of wage suppression. At the same time, we have record shortages hitting our schools, hitting our hospitals, hitting our police stations. Mr Perrottet and Mr Keane are offering more of the same.